So hello and welcome back to Taken Terminal. I'm Steve and we are back at Leekington Lakes looking at our spinning roller coaster. And I have actually been a little bit cheeky and done some modifications. So I've added walkways to the block sections and I've decided to really have a proper go at doing some custom supports, which you can see here where the train goes over the brake run. I've also done custom support here where it goes over the pathway as well. I just thought it kind of fits in just a little bit better having that rather than basically it being completely unsupported. So that was the thought process. I think it actually looks alright. I probably should have built it a little bit lower, to be fair, but I'm not too fussed. I think it looks okay, so I'm gonna go with it. I might add a few more custom supports in different areas. So on this overbank here, where against the building, I'm probably going to have some supports that are actually sunk into the building, coming out of the walls for the maintenance shed. That's something. I've also added the maintenance track for the cars and the queue line. Now it is a little bit close here, where the cars go over the queue line. Like it's closer than I probably want. So what I've done just to kind of see the relation of how far away it is from people's heads, I've put this I've got this stone guest to kind of simulate how high they would be, and I think we're okay, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. I might just have to put in a bit of net in there just underneath the track, but yeah, that's not going to be too difficult to do. I've kind of put in the queue line roughly where I want it. I'm going to have a bridge going over to the other side of the pathway. I'm probably going to do the same with the exit. Or I might just bring the exit down and then down the side of the brake run potentially, depending on how things go. I'm thinking of putting a few shops here along the front, next to, well, a few shops looking out to the pathway. And yeah, so, and obviously the restaurant inside, which I'm nowhere near. Like, I generally don't know how long it's going to take to do. Like, doing the custom supports took the best part of like an hour, and I only did 2 bits. So, yeah, not sure quite how that is going to go. So, the ride's running fantastic. I've just left it testing, and it's very well timed. So, you know, this brake run just clears in time for this car, and I think it's a very, very, very well-timed coaster, as we clear the lift hill just as this car comes along to engage on the lift hill, which is what we wanted. Well, that's what I wanted. I wanted to have a roller coaster that has a low-capacity coaster that has a lot going on, and I think that's one of the benefits of having this new station type that has been put in was it the last update or the update before? I can't quite remember, but you can have it exit station and onload station. And what's that now enables, because the issue with the single car coaster is people take too long to get out, and then they take too long to get in, and you don't get your cars out on circuit. Whereas now, these air gates will be filled and they'll board straight away, and then we'll utilise this waiting block that I've put in, which is outside the station, and I've got a reason for that. I kind of wanted to have it so it's outside and visible, kind of builds the anticipation. If you've ever been on Oblivion, Alton Towers, for instance, there's a waiting block before the lift hill if it's in dual station. So if you board the shuttle on load 2, you will actually wait before you go up the lift hill, and it really builds that anticipation of excitement before the ride, and that's what I wanted to bring to this coaster, and I think it's going to work really well once I'm finished. You may notice some little bits of support just stuck about. That's just because I've been using it to basically gauge how I'm going to do it, and I quite like this little bit. This is like the connector to the support, so I've used that here. Another thing that I have added, which may be of interest, is some the car's going past, some proximity switches. Now, I've not done everywhere yet. I just kind of wanted to show how it looks. So I'll just pause the game here. And what I've done, I'll put a link into the description of the video so you can find these for your own creations. Oh, come on, Steve. You're struggling here. I had a really good angle before. So the proc switch is here, and it's flagging against the brake plate, which you can just see there of the car. And you know, it's not getting in the way of the car. It's kind of clear of the axles, and I just thought it'd be really good to add a bit of realism to the coaster by adding these sensors. So we'll start with finishing off this bit of brake run here, and then I will probably put them all around. So I was actually at my friend Toby house yesterday, which would be Saturday, Sunday today, and he was showing me one of the coasters he's made, and I was absolutely amazed because it was really good. Like, to be fair, it was better than what I could probably do. And he showed me this sensor that you can get off the workshop, and I thought, you know what, I need to add these to my coasters because I love control systems, and this just is right up my street. So so there we go. So we've got one there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it at the car about there and add in one about halfway. So what this would be doing is detecting speed, making sure that, you know, that we're not getting any kind of overspeeds of the train. I think that's about right. Yeah, I think that's in the right place. So I'm gonna push the tick button there. And I'm gonna put one just on the exit of the block. Yeah. So yeah, that's okay. So what you'll find is you will have multiple sensors on brake runs and block sections, particularly, where you'll often find it detecting speed and position of trains. And what you will often find as well in a lot of brakes, they'll have their own sensors to make sure they know whether the brake is actually in the closed position or in an open position as well. But I'm not going to do that because I don't have anything that'll be small enough. So that ain't happening. But yeah, basically you'll find these in places where the train can stop. Also to know whether there's a train, or as I keep saying trains, these are more like cars, but wherever there's any kind of place where it can stop. Sometimes you do get them like on sections of track. So for instance, particularly on launch coasters, to detect the speed over the highest points, so it knows whether to reduce or increase power. That's something you do see from place to place. And you don't really see them at low points, but I have seen before where you've seen sensors on like the bottom of hills to detect if like something has stalled, but that's not that common. You don't tend to get that on most rides. But yeah, it's that's actually I do like this brake run now. It's really kind of given me a bit more enthusiasm to carry on with this ride. I love having these proc switches. It just adds that extra little bit of detail that You know, to be fair, I'm surprised that they haven't put these in something similar in the game already. Because anywhere where you've got brakes and any kind of motion, you would see like sensors in. So yeah, so that's that. Cool sensors. So yeah, I'm going to add those around the ride and do some theming. So I'm not gonna have you listen to me talking through it all, but I'm gonna crack on and I'll catch up with you guys when I don't think I'm gonna finish this today, but we'll have an update when I decide to call it quits. So I've only got like 3 hours I can spend on this, so I'll give an update after that 3 hours and we'll see how far I've got in that time. So sit back and relax. Hello and welcome back. So that has been 3 hours of building. I just added a few more of these custom supports and constructed this building. We've got a few shops on the lower level. I was hoping to make inside here, it's not finished, but I was hoping to have like a bit more space for like a viewing area so you can come in and see the coast. Like you can still come in and see the coast to come by, but I was hoping for something a little bit more roomy. It's not very roomy with having these two shops here. I might take these shops out and that would allow for more room in the space to be able to see the coaster and maybe turn the shops on the outside. I've got these shops facing out here. Maybe turn a couple of them around so they're facing inside rather than outside. I think that would be effects. This is not finished, but the idea, I'm not really sure what kind of theme I'm going for. It's just kind of I'm using the aquatic building theme set, and I just kind of wanted something like a little bit industrial looking. It's like a kind of almost like a factory style theme to it. So, and I think I've started to pull that off. We've got our traverser track here and the storage shed just in there. And added a couple of supports on the side here and there as well. There's no fast track on this one, so the main queue is just coming into the side of this building here, and staff access, because we're using dual stations, you need the staff entry point. That's what this path here is for. And yeah, so it just need a bit of a tidy up, just need finishing off, but I'm out of time, so we're going to have to come back and revisit this one day in the future. But I am pretty happy with how this coaster's coming out. I think it looks really good. I added a bit of fencing. I haven't finished it, but I've added a bit of fencing around here just to fence off this low point here and allow people to kind of see the coaster. I was very adamant I wanted people to be able to actually see it, and a lot of the fences are a little bit restrictive, letting you see the what you've built from the pathway, and I thought this fence, which I kind of built myself out using the post and this mesh, is ideal for what we want. And so yeah, it's starting to get there. A bit more work needs to be done. We do need to recolour the cars, but I think that overall it's starting to get there, and hopefully next time finish off this building and get this bridge looking a little bit better, as it's a little bit... I really like this concrete that we've got here. I'd probably use some of these pipes or something to kind of hide that, to make it like it's some pipes coming over the pathway and down. But yeah, that's where I'm going. It doesn't really look very amusement parky. It looks a little bit overkill for amusement park. Maybe this is just going to become like a factory area instead, and I'm just gonna do like an industrial theme throughout this area. But yeah, I think for a little coaster, it's coming along well. I was thinking about adding another ride in here somewhere, but I'm thinking maybe a tower ride, but there's not much clearance. Let me just have a quick look and see if we can get something in there. I think we will. We'll definitely get something like this in. It is going to be tight though. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit too tight for putting a ride in there. I just kind of wanted to make it a little bit more ride intensive. Maybe we could put it over here. Yeah, it could potentially go over here. That would be clear of the attractions, and it'll help. Or even we could put it on either side of the pathway. I'm not sure, but I do want this in here somewhere. I feel like this ride needs to go in this area. And we've also got the gyro swing now, which I would love to get in somewhere in this area as well. But the footprint is quite big for this thing, so we'll see how that goes. So, yes, that brings us to the end of this episode. If you have enjoyed watching this one, please give a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.